All right, so let me share my screen again. So my screen is visible, right? Can anyone please
Yes, sir.
confirm? All right, thank you. So in our last session, we did some program, right, in which let me open that program in the browser. So I believe this is index 2. Page load completed. No, this is, yeah, and this was the code, right? Uh, Conditional statement 1. Yeah. So this is the last program which we did, and here we were uh, wrote some validation code, and I asked you people to write some other things in the validation to check the length of username, length of password. So I hope you guys did something into it, right? In case if any of you didn't got time today for this, so it is my request, do it tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is Sunday, definitely you should have time. So all of you need to do practice. Okay, now let's proceed. Today, what we will do, let me create a new file first, right? And say we have index 1, index 2. Let's create index 3, new file, .html, right? Let's close the other ones. We don't need these files. Index3.html and create one file, index3.js, right? Okay, so okay, so when we were talking about, conditional statements in any programming, so there are few things in conditional statement. So those things are like we can use if, we can use if with else, else is always optional. Then, there is a thing called multiple if, then nested if. After that, there is a thing switch case, right? Then the next is ternary operator. Okay, so in our last session, when we are doing that validation code, we were seeing about if and means if else, right? Even we use the multiple if. Okay, so we will not spend more time into it. I believe all of you are familiar of these things, right? So what we can do, we can see a small program of switch case or maybe a one program of ternary operator, and then we will move to the next thing, which is loop. So let me create a HTML here. Let me create a boilerplate quickly. So all right. So here in the script, I will write my JS file name, which is index3.js, right? Okay. Now here, let's create a drop down. Say we have a drop down, select, close it, right? Say the ID of my drop down is maybe say weekday, week underscore day, right? And let's create multiple options. Option value equals to something. Let me copy this line So in VS Code, to copy anything, simply you need to keep your mouse anywhere in the line, and if you will press Control C, the entire line will get copy, and paste it with Control V. So multiple time I pasted it, and let's write here something, select, and in the next, let's write the weekday's name, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and maybe Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday. Okay. Here in the value, we need to write some value for Monday. For Monday, let's say the value is MON, right? For Tuesday, this is the value. The text which is written here, the complete Tuesday, this is the label only. The actual value is this, right? Then here Wednesday, then here let's say THRUS Thursday. So what we are trying to make that let me complete it first, Saturday and Sunday. So user will choose any day from the drop down, right? And in our HTML, it will say that in case of Sunday, it will tell that it is the first day of the week. In case of Monday, it will say some another text message like it is the second day of week, like this, right? With every selection, it will provide us some text message. So let's see here. Let's put a label, say H2, close this H2, and say mm, maybe we can write here switch case, right? Because we are going to use switch case in this program, right? And what we will do here in the select drop down, we will use an event called onChange, right? And in this event, we will call a function. That function we need to create here, right? So here let's create a function. Say my function name is print weekday, right? So let's copy this name and paste it here in onChange, right? So here simply write a alert first, and let's say whether our function is getting called or not. So alerts, and write any message like here, save it, and come to the code which is index 3, right? So yeah, we have a drop down, and when I am changing it, we are getting this alert, right? Which means our function is getting called. Perfect. Remove this line. Now what we need to do, we need to fetch the value of selected option, right? So our element, which is a drop down, has the ID weekday. This is the ID, right? So here inside our function, what we need to write? We need to write document dot get element by ID, and in this function let's pass the ID weekday dot value, right? So and this line is returning us the value which is selected by us, I mean the option which is selected by us. And here in the left side, let's create a variable. We can write anything, let's say day equals to this, right? Now simply write alert and print the day. Let's see whether we are getting day or not. So refresh the page and let's choose something Monday. So we are getting MON, right? Why MON? Because in case of Monday, we can see the value is MON, right? So every time we will get only these values, which is written inside value property, right? If I will choose Thursday, so whatever the value is written in the value property, that will come. All right. Now, what I need to do, here I will write switch. Inside switch, pass our variable, which is day, right? And here write case. So if the case is MON, means inside our variable day, if the value is this Monday, MON, right? Then what I can do, I can, I need to print that this is the, first day or maybe second day of the week. So where I will print? I will print here inside the body. So for that, I need to create some container, some element. So let's create a div, right? Let's create a div and say ID of this div is result, right? Copy this ID and come to the JS. Here, let's write mm, we can write document dot get element by ID. Here, let's pass this ID result dot inner HTML equals to, and we can write, so in case of Monday, this is first day of week, right? And after that, we will write a statement which is break, right? Means why breaks? Now, after execution of this line, we don't want to execute any other line, right? So in case the selection is not Monday, but it is something else, let's say Tuesday, right? So we need to write something else. So let me do one thing. Let me copy this entire block and let me paste it here. And I'm going to change the value Tuesday. Let's do this thing. Okay. So right. Okay. So here we can write in case of Tuesday, document.getElement by ID result in HTML is this is second day of week. One more thing I want to change here. Every time in every case, instead of writing this entire thing, document.getElement by ID, let's copy this part, this element in a variable. So here let's write let element equals to this thing, right? And here, instead of writing this long line, we will use el dot inner HTML, right? This is better, right? Copy this and paste it multiple time, and let's change the value. This is Wednesday, this is Thursday, this is Friday. This case is for Saturday, and the last one is for Sunday, right? And This is second day, this is third, this is fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Right. So refresh the page. I hope we should get a result. Let's see. So yeah, we are getting the result. This is the first day of the week. In case of Tuesday, this is second day of the week, right? In case of maybe Friday, this is fifth day, Saturday, sixth day. So it is working, right? Now it's up to us. We can make this thing more beautiful. In case here, let's say if we will put it in H1, right? So it will display as a header message. If we will create some class right here, let's say I'm okay. For now, I'm putting some inline CSS. Let's say color is gray. So it's totally up to us how we want to show our, you know, output. Right. So we are aware of CSS. We can apply CSS here, right? I hope I'm making sense. So this is switch case, right? Okay. Now, let's create a small file and say index4.js. So index4.js. In this file, I will demo you about the ternary operator, right? So basically, let's create a function, say, or let's create an anonymous function. Func1. This is the function expression, and this is my anonymous function, right? Now, here, suppose I have a variable. Uh, let's say variable name is a, right? And simply put any value, let's say 10, right? And below this, let's write a condition in this bracket. Uh, if a is say divisible by 2 and if we are getting 0, right? If this is if this condition is true, put a question mark. If this condition is true, then we can write something like, let's say console.log, and let's write a message that a is a even number, right? In case the condition is false, then what will happen? After putting a clone, we can write the next thing. So console.log a is odd number, odd number, right? And let's call this function func function1, right? Index4.js. So how we can run this program? We can go to our folder Orbus2, and here if we will write node and the file name which is index4, right? Index4. Am I in the right place? Let me check. Okay, we need to move into JS folder. JS. And now if I will write node index 4.js. So, okay, it is saying cannot access A before initialization. What does this? why we are getting this error. Let me see. Okay, let me change it with where for now. So still it is saying 8% 2 equals to 0. Hmm. Okay, let me do one thing. There's no need to change anything. Okay, so we have function 1 and which we are calling it at bottom. Here we have a variable a is 10 and okay, inside the variable, I mean inside the function, I'm writing this condition a divisible by 2 and if it is equals to 0. And here 10 is not a function. Type error 10 is not a function. What it means 10 is not a function. That is okay. Okay, let's remove this thing. Let's try it now. Okay, so because of this bracket it was means I was getting a syntactical error, but anyway, okay, so what is the meaning of this? That here we have a variable a, right? Doesn't matter, we can use var or let, and we are dividing this number with 10, I mean 2, and we are checking whether we are getting remainder 0 or not. If it is 0, if this condition is true, then the first statement after question mark, this will execute. In case the condition is false, then this will execute, right? This is the syntax of ternary operator. So um, in React.js or AngularJS, in our templates, lot of time we use this ternary operator. So I hope this is fine. Okay, 10, if I will make it 11, so 11 is the odd number, or in case, okay, let's do something. There is a class, there's an inbuilt class in JavaScript which is called math.random, right? Uh, this will return a number between 0.1 and 0.9, and let me write if it is greater than 0.5. So now a has either, means this is a condition, right? I am making a small change here. Now this is a condition math.random, right? This thing will return a number between 0.1 and 0.9, any number, any random number. And if this number is greater than 0.5, so there is 50% chance this condition will be true, and there is a 50% chance this condition may be false. So in case of true, this variable has the value true, otherwise this variable has the value false. So here we can, let's change the condition. If uh, if a is true, right? If a is true, let's write something here. A is true, otherwise A is false, right? Now let's see, now we don't have anything static, means we don't know what A has. It may be true, it may be false, right? So let's see, false. A is false. We should not write A like this. We should write like this. A is false, and here like this. Okay, let's run 2, 3 more times. A is true, right? A is false. So we are getting, means randomly. So, so I believe this ternary operator is clear to everyone, right? If anyone have any doubt, anything, any question, you may ask to me. Otherwise, we can proceed. Okay. So here in this program, in this index4.js, we don't have any HTML5. But if I will create any HTML5 and I will ask you people that this console.log message, right? This need to display in our browser. I hope you guys can do it, right? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yeah. All right. Now let's proceed. Create a new file. Create a new file. Let's say uh, call it iteration.html or say loop.html, right? And let's create a JS file also, loop.js. Okay, so in JavaScript we have all the traditional loops like for loop, while loop, and do while loop, the same syntax, right? There's nothing changed. So for example, uh, let's say let's create a function. Let loop1, this is my variable name, equals to function, right? And inside this function, or maybe instead of loop1, let's make it for loop, right? So the same syntax, you may write for, then the initialization thing. So let's write let I equals to maybe 1, then there is a condition I less than equals to maybe 10, and after then you can write increment or decrement whatever you want, and inside the loop, you can print or you can do whatever you want to do, console.log, let's say I, right? So okay, so this is a typical for loop, right? So I don't think I need to uh, explain how it is working, what is the flow of for loop, but still, uh, the step one is this initialization. Control first come here, it initialize this variable, right? After that, it checks the condition, whether the condition is true or false. In case if it is true, then control goes inside this, right? And after executing whatever is written inside the body of loop, then it go to the updation side, this this thing. So earlier the value of I was 1, after plus plus it will be 2, and it will again check the condition. So whether I, which is 2, is less than or equal to 10. So condition is true because 2 is always less than 10. So again second time it will iterate, and like this it will iterate 10 times. Okay, so one thing in loop.html, let's create a HTML page, right? So let me quickly uh, remove this unwanted things. Okay, and here I will write loop.js. All right. So perfect. Here what I will do, in body I will use a event onload, right? And in the onload I will call my function. What is the name of my function? I believe for loop, right? Let's copy it. For loop, and paste it here, call it. Now here I will write a debugger, right? And and let's write at least something here in a h1. Let's say loop. Let's format it and open this page somewhere in browser, right? And open the development tool. Come to the console path. So okay, so as I mentioned debugger in my code, right? In my code there is a line which I wrote here, debugger. So because of debugger we can see the control movement of our code one by one, step by step, right? So here, because of debugger, my execution stops here, right? Now I have an option here. I can click on this step into next function call, right? So in this button, or I can click on F11, right? So let me press this button. So you can see the control move to the loop. It initialized. Then if I will click next time button, then you can see now the control is checking the condition. If the condition will be true, then it will go inside the loop and it will print the, means it will execute the console.log statement. See, it is executing console.log. Now what will happen? It will go to the increment I++, right? Now the value of I is increased by 2. So let's put your mouse over it. You will see currently it is 1. As I will click this button, so it will go to the condition. Now the value of I will be 2. See, it is 2 now, and it is again checking the condition. So you can visualize this loop. So condition is checking, printing the message, increment, again condition checking, right? Again printing, increment, condition check. And if you will go to the console tab, you can also see the output. Okay, 4 times the iteration is done. So 1 to 4 it is printing. And if I will, again go to my that tab source. And again, if I will start to press this F11 or this button, so it will continue it. If in case you will click on this button or maybe this button, so it will means execute complete, means it will you know execute everything. So now you can see this 1 to 10 entire thing is get printed. So debugger, this is a very useful tool uh, in our functions during you know development. Many times we find errors and we don't understand, means from where exactly the problem is coming. Then we use this keyword in our code to check line by line execution, right? So this is very useful tool. All of us should be aware of this, right? And whether you are using vanilla JavaScript or any framework or library of JavaScript like React or Angular, everywhere we can use this debugger thing, right? Okay, so this is one thing, right? Now let's create another thing. Say let while loop equals to a function or or okay, let's do something different. Don't create a separate function, right? Let's create a function inside function. So in many programming language, this thing is not supported. We can't create, you know, a function inside another function. But in JavaScript, this is possible. So why this is possible? This is an architectural reason, but for now, let's create it first. So what I will do, I will create a function, say while loop, right? And we will uh, we will take a variable, say let x equals to anything, let's say 100, right? And we will write a while keyword, while condition x is greater than uh, or equal to greater than 0. If this is the condition, if this condition is true, then iterate it, and in with every iteration, let's print something, say console.log, and in log, let's print x, right? And we will write x plus plus, right? And yeah, that's it. So here what we are doing, we are initializing it before the loop. In while, we simply write the condition. After that, inside we are doing whatever we want to do. So we want to print the x, and inside the body of loop we are increasing it, right? So now the point is how we can call this function. Okay, we are creating a function, that is okay. Let me see if we are getting any error. So inspect, come to console, refresh the page. We are not getting any error. It means this is working, our code is working. But the point is how we can call this inner function, inside function. So if I will write here while loop and will try to call it, so it should give us error. So it is saying uncount reference error, while loop is not defined. So engine is getting confused here because um, from here, from this place, engine is not getting anything like while loop, because while loop is inside this for loop, right? This is the main function, parent function, and it is the child function, inner function. So from here we can't call it. Okay, now any idea, you guys, any of you can tell me how can we call this while loop? Any idea, anything, any clue? Yeah, someone was trying to say something.
We can write while and then the condition in the parenthesis.
Where exactly? Means we write here, but it was not working, right? We tried to call the while loop from here, but it was not working because the while loop is inside for loop, right? So if I will try to run this code, see, we are getting error, reference error, while loop is not defined. So what we can do, we can't call it like this. So inside this for loop, anywhere, maybe here, let's write it. So our HTML, this page, when it is getting load, it is calling this for loop, right? Because of this onload for loop call, our this function is getting called, right? This function is getting called. after execution of this for loop, it will call this while loop, and from here we will not get any error because now this is inside the scope, right? Let's see. So reference it. So maybe there is some logical error and we are, you know, okay, what I wrote x is greater than 0. So I should write it x minus minus. I'm sorry. This is the mistake. Let me refresh it. Or maybe I should close this window, Control X, and inspect console, and let's run this. Yeah, now we can see that, okay, our loop from 100 to, 1, this is working. The while loop is working, right? So if you have a function which is inside another function, you can call it from inside the body of main function, right? So we can call it from here, right? Am I making sense?
Yes.
All right. Okay, answer me one more thing. So here, outside of this loop, if I will print console.log I, so what should I get here? Yeah, tell me, anyone. What should be the value of I here in the line number 6? Come on. This is not a tricky question. This is a very simple question. Where we are using this variable I, right, for
Then
iteration, and this I will, and 10 times this will iterate. Does someone need to mute? Thank you. So what I was saying that 10 times this will iterate and every time the value of I is increasing. So, you know, this condition will work till the value of I will be 10. And at the last iteration, when the value of I will be 11, right? This will terminate. The loop will terminate and the control will come here. So here the point is, the general logic is the value of I should be 11, right? But the thing is, which we need to take care that we initialize this variable with let, right? We initialize this variable with let. Now, the scope of let variable is inside a block. So, in our case, this thing is a block. This is a block, right? So, if you will try to print this I outside of the loop, it will say us reference error, right? Let's see, loop.js. So we are getting uncount reference error. I is not defined. Why I is not defined? Because I am trying to access I outside of this block, right? And in case if I will change this let to where, now it will be accessible. And here in case of where, it will be 11. Let's see. So somewhere, okay, we are not getting
demo.
error. We can print like this. outside loop. Let's see, refresh it, and let me scroll a little bit. Ah, outside loop, this is 11, right? So from this example, I believe you guys are getting one more difference between let and where. Let is means the scope of let is inside a block, whereas scope of where is inside a function, right? So now you guys tell me, when we will use for loop, then whether we should use where or let, which is the right choice? Which should be the right choice? Yes, anyone? Someone need to be mute himself or herself. I'm getting some background noise. Okay, thank you. So, okay, so my question is that here in this loop, we use where and we can access the value of I outside of the loop. If we will use let, here we will get an error, reference error, because the scope of the variable which is declared with let is inside the block. So what should be your choice? You have two options, where and let. If you need to create a loop, what you will do, what you will choose, where or let? Tell me, this is there is nothing right or wrong. Whatever you are think uh, is good, is correct, you can tell me. We can discuss on this.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, please.
So it depends on a condition. If we have only one for loop, we
Mhm.
can go with let. But if we want that variable for in like our next for loop or while loop, we can
Mhm.
use where.
Exactly. So all this thing depends in our requirement, right? So if we have such requirement where we need to access our variable outside of the block, then definitely we should go with where, right? But in this case, here we are using a single loop. So here there is no need of where. We should go with let, right? Why we will use this thing here? So let me comment this thing, right? Okay. The important thing is you should be aware of what you are using. Means when you are declaring a variable using let or where, the picture in your mind, the picture should be clear, right? Means if you are using let, then why you are using let, this is very important. Or if you are using where, then why where, right? This is most important thing. So okay, with this code, I believe uh, we got two things. One, the syntax of for loop and while loop. Another thing, we also came to know about another difference between where and let, right? Okay. All right. Now, so we have one more loop, do while. So ideally, uh, we don't use do while because it is very exceptional that we got a situation where we need to iterate one loop, iterate a loop without checking the condition first time, right? So I'm skipping that do while thing. You guys may go through it over Google or anything. Now let's uh, what is the time? Okay, we have some time for our break. So let's see a small code, small piece of code. So let's say my file name is index5 dot JS, and here I'm creating a function check equality. This is the function name, right? Here we have two variables. Let a equals to any number and say let b. Here I'm writing 5 but in single quotation, right? So like this. Now, now I'm writing a condition if a equals to b, and let's write a console.log. I will write both are same, and sorry, and I will write a else. Here I will write console.log. The message is both are different, right? So we know that we can check equality of value of two variables using this operator, double equals to operator. So in many programming languages, uh, if we will run similar code, then we will find that it is saying both are different, right? Both are different. Why? Because A is number and B is string, right? The value of B is 5, but it is in single quotation, so it is string. But here in case of JavaScript, we will find that this line is executing. This line will execute. Both are same. Let's see. Index 5. So I will write node index happened index5.js. Okay, so I best copied it in somewhere wrong place. Allow me a minute. Or bus 2, and let me cut from here and paste it here. Okay, now this is in the right place. Index5.js. So what happens? We need to call this function, right? Index 5. Let's call this function check equality like this. Yeah. So it is saying both are same. Why both are same? Because in JavaScript, this operator, this 2 equals to double equals to operator, check only values. It doesn't check the data type. If you really want to check the equality, then instead of double equal to, we need to use triple equals to, right? Now, if we will run this code, right, now it will say both are different, right? So what it means? It means that in JavaScript, whenever you need to check equality, then instead of double equal to, it is always better to use triple equals to, right? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, allow me a minute. I'm putting myself in mute for a minute. I'm coming back in a minute. Okay, so I'm back. Let me open Notepad. The just topics. All right, let's create a program. Maybe in our college days, all of us created that program. Let's recall our college days. So, what I'm looking for, and I'm expecting that you guys do this from yourself. So, what I'm looking for that in our browser there will be a radio, I mean there will be a text box, right? In the text box we can enter any number, right? And there will be a button. After entering number, when user will click on that button, then it will say whether this number is a prime number or not, right? So we need to write a logic using HTML and CSS, HTML and JavaScript to check a number is prime or not, right? So let's do it. This is not very tricky, but yes, you need to write at least a loop and a conditional statement. So let's do it. Right, let's do it. We have 4 or 5 minutes with us. So let's do this code and after that we will go to the break. I'm here only, but keeping myself in mute. Okay, let me know once it will be done, right? Yeah, tell me, anyone who did it? So what is the logic to check a prime number? So the logic is a number should be either divisible by 1 or itself. Say our number is 7. So 7 is either divisible by 1 or it is divisible by 7 itself, right? Between 1 and 7, there are other numbers like 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It is not divisible by any of this number between 2 and 6. So we need to write a loop. Let's say our loop is let I equals to 2. We will start our loop from 2, and the condition which we will write is I is less than num, whatever the number we are checking for. So in our case, this is 7, so it is less than 7, which means till 6. And with every iteration, it will increase by 1. And inside the loop, we will check a condition whether our number is divisible by I. What I'm writing, divisible by I, and after division, whether it is giving me 0 or not, remainder is 0 or not. If this condition is true, then what I will do, at before loop somewhere here, I will declare another variable, Boolean variable, let's say is prime, equals to maybe true, right? And here inside this condition, if this condition is true, if this condition is true, it means this is not prime number, right? So if it is not a prime number, so let's set this variable as false and use a break keyword so that let's terminate the loop, right? We don't need to check another number because already we find that it is not a prime number. And outside of the loop, simply check if is prime variable is, if it is true, then write, this is the block of prime number. So here after button, let's create a div or maybe span, create a div and write here id, say the id is the result, right? And use this id here, say here document dot get element by id, paste the id result dot inner html equals to, in h1 or maybe h2 you may write, close this h1 first, and we may write what, uh, a plus, we can write our variable which is num, right, is a prime number, right? Copy this line, right here else, in case our is prime variable is not true, if it is false, which means this is not a prime number, so simply write here not a prime number. That's it, right? Let's run this program. Let's see whether we are getting result or not. So we know that 7 is a prime number, so let's enter 7 and check prime number. 7 is a prime number, perfect. In case of 8, 8 is not a prime number because it is divisible by 2, right? It is divisible by 4, so it is not a prime number. So our logic is working. So I was expecting this code from you people. So tell me, any of you completed it or not completed it? What is the status? Tried, not tried? Come on, tell me.
Right,
Okay, are you getting
right.
the, is it working correctly?
Yes.
All right, all right, great, great, great. Perfect. So, all right, so this is the time for a break. So we are going for a break for 10-12 minutes, right? So this is like 10:08. We will come back around 10:20, right? So it's okay. Let's have the break. Let's come back at after 12 minutes. So I'm keeping myself on mute.
Okay, okay.
এটা এটা Daniela. দেখবে সাইডে খুব সাইডে আছে তাড়াতাড়ি করে নাও এখন কিছু করানো বেটো এখন অফিসের কাজ চলছে বাবা 1 মিনিট অনলি
যা 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 আমি কাছে এক্ষুনি বেরিয়ে যাবো
চলো ওখানে ওই রুমে চলে যা বলতে আছে
যা চলে যা বাবা অফিস তো উঠবে বেটা বেলুন তো ওখানেই দুটো হবে এখানে থোড়ি বেলুন আছে কি চাই কোন কালারিং কোনো কালারিং নেই এখানে বেলুন আছে শুধু
চল বেরো यार এবার
চল চল বেলুন তো ওখানেও আছে যেটা তুই খোলা
লেট করে গেছে আবার
বেরো এটা ধর আমরা মিমি বাড়ি যাবো না মিমি কাছে কালারফুল বেলুন নিয়ে আসবো চলো যাচ্ছি চ চ বেরো তুমি অন্ধকারে পড়াও নাকি
না গো
আচ্ছা যাবো না চ এখন চ চ পেট ব্যথা করছে বলতো ভালো লাগছে না চ আয় আয় তো
okay so I'm back all right so the last program was about the prime number. We were checking the prime number. All right, so let's proceed now. So I will, send all these files into GitHub, and from there you guys can download it. Chalo. So the next thing is we need to understand the concept of array, right? So let me create a new file and let's say array.js, right? Or maybe array1.js. I believe I am audible to everyone and all of you can see my screen, right? Anyone please confirm me.
Yes, good.
All right, thank you. So in JavaScript, array is a data type, right? And we can store multiple data into it. And as we know that JavaScript is a loosely data type programming language, so we can store multiple data of multiple types, right? So let me create a function. Say my function name is my array, right? And here let's create an array. So we can create an array. There are two methods. There are two ways. The first way is called generic way or shorthand way. So let's say our variable name is ar1. So we can write like this. So this is a blank array or empty array. The another option is we can write, let's say ar2 equals to new array. So this is called constructor way. constructor way. And this we may write here generic way. So here inside these brackets, square brackets, we can write any data. Let's say let's put something called something 5, which is a number, right? We can also write some decimal number. We can also write some, Boolean, say true, right? We can write some string, let's say Rohit Sharma. Then okay, for now let it be. So this is my AR1, right, which I created through generic way, and I can access my array. So if I will write AR1, so AR1 is the entire array, but let's say I want to access individual elements of my array. So this is one element, the second one is this 5.5, the third one is true. So here for every element there is an index, right? And index starts from 0. In Python, whatever the concept of list is, it is very similar to that, right? So if I will write ARR1 of 0, so this will return me 5. If I will print ARR1 of 1, it will return me 5.5, right? The same way in the second index, the value is true, right? And so on. So the last index is 4, sorry, 3, and the value is Rohit Sharma, right? Okay. In the same way, here in the constructor way, we can put the values here inside the bracket. So let's say my first value, which is in the 0th index, is 10. Then I have something string Raj. Then I have some boolean, let's say false. I have something, some decimal number, maybe 10.5, right? So, and if I will write here console.log, my variable name, which is AR2 of 0, right? This will return me the value 10 and so on, right? So for the first index, the value is Raj. For the second index, value is false. And for the last index, which is 3, the value is 10.5, right? Let's see, let's run this program. So first we need to call it my array, right? And come to the console, and here we will write node array1. So where I saved this file, again I did the mistake. So my array1 is in the root folder. I need to move it. So let's cut it from here and paste it here. Sorry. Okay. Now let's open it. Array1.js. Okay. me see directory. So we have this array1.js here, right? So node array1.js. So okay, we have some mistake. What is it? Console is not a function. Okay, it should be console.log. Somehow I missed this log because of copy paste. I missed everywhere. Okay, now let's run it. Yeah, so as expected, we are getting the result right. Now, so this is okay. So from this program, we are understanding what array is. So array is a container where we can store multiple data of different types, right? And when we create any array, so we don't need to define its length. In many programming languages like Java or C++, we have to define the length of array, right? That okay, this is the length and we can store only this much data into this array. But here there is no such length thing. We can store any numbers of data into our array, right? All right. Now we need to understand how to iterate any array, right? So let's say here in case of AR1 or AR2, in both cases I am manually writing the indexes from 0 to, because the size is very limited. We have only 4 values inside our both arrays, so I printed it like this. But practically we need to understand how to iterate an array, because every time we will not get only 4 values. Many of times we get many elements inside an array. So what we can do, let's iterate our AR2. So we have a traditional for loop. We can write like let I equals to 0 and I is less than AR2 of length. This is a property, right? Length. So this will return the length of array. So what is the length of our array? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We have 4 elements. So this AR2.length will return us 4. And here I will do the increment I++. And here inside the for loop, so we can write console.log er and here put the I, right? Let's draw a line here so that in our console it will be clear to us that let's write here loop, right? Now let's run it and see whether our loop is working or not. So AR2, the name of array is wrong. CLS screen, clear screen, and yeah. So we can see that this output at the bottom, these 4 lines, these are coming from our iteration of from our for loop. So this is one of the way. So another way which is more preferred in JavaScript is for off loop, right? So how we can use for off? First, let me draw this line and let me write here for off loop. So I will write for, and then I will create a temporary variable. Let's say temp. Off, I will write the keyword off and then my array name. What is the name of my array? AR2, right? Now outside, now I will create this curly braces. Now here inside the loop, I will write simply console.log and simply write temp, right? So the benefit of using this for of loop is that we don't need to maintain any index and all, right? AR2 will pass values one by one to temp variable, and whatever we want to do with temp, that we can do inside the inside the block, for block, right? So we can use this for of loop with array, right? So let's see whether we are getting the result or not. Yeah, we are getting the same result, right? So I hope this for of is clear to everyone, right? Okay, now let's create another file. Say array 2.html. This is the first file, and the second file is array 2.js, right? Let's close this one. So here what we will try to do, so let's come to the JS first. We will create a function, right? And the objective of this function is that in our function there will be an array in which there will be values, right? There will be numeric value, there may be string, there may be boolean, whatever. And we will write a logic to sum all the numbers of the array. Wherever there is numeric value, we will sum it. And finally, we will print the sum of numeric values in array. So let's write the name as sum of array. So let's create the array first. Let arr equals to, let's create the array like this and say my first element is 10. The second element is something, some string. Let's say ABC. Third is say 20. Right, then maybe 5. Then something like say boolean, true. And let's put one more number, let's say 50. So this is my array, right? So this array contains numbers, string, as well as a boolean. Okay, so when we will get the result, then the result should be 10 plus 20, that is 30, 30 plus 5, 35, and 35 plus 80, 50. So result should be 85, right? It will ignore this true and it will ignore this string. So what I need to do, I need to use a for loop first. For let temporary variable of my array variable arr, right? Now I need to check the data type of my element. So I will write here if there is a function or operator type of, if type of 10, right, is number. If it is number, then only we need to do arithmetic operation. So what I will do, somewhere here at the top, let's write sum equals to 0, right? And simply here we will write sum equals to sum plus 10, right? And in case the type of temp variable is not number, then we don't need to do anything, right? That's it. And finally, let's return the value sum, right? So we can also use the return statement in our function. So wherever we will call it, say we are calling our function from here, which is sum of array, right? And if I will write this thing into console, console.log. So this thing will return me the result. Let's see. Clear the screen first and write node array2.js. So we are getting 85, right? This is what we are looking for. Okay, fine. I hope this piece of code is clear to everyone. Here, the new thing which we learned is the type of how to check the type or data type of any element, any variable. Now what I want to do is, now I want to do some modification here. Currently our array is static, means in my code I am writing that okay, let's take 10 as a 0th index value, ABC as the first index value, and so on. So I want from our HTML we will enter something, some value, and that should get inserted in this array, right? So I want to make this array dynamic. So what I will do here, I will create a HTML page. So let's remove this unwanted codes. I have some outdated extension, that's why it generates this outdated codes. Maybe in your case it is not coming. Okay, so we have the JS file. The name of JS file is array2.js, right? All right. So what I will do here, I will create an input box. Let's say input type equals to text, name equals to, or don't need name, we can write ID equals to anything, say array underscore element. This is the ID, and let's put a placeholder equals to enter value for array anything, right? And let's create a button also, so when we will click on the button, then only it will get inserted, the value will get inserted into the array. So button on click, there will be a function. The function name is sum of array, right? Sum of array, and I am putting a label insert and close this button tag, right? Let's see how it is looking. array2.html, let's run it in browser. Okay, all right, so here maybe I will write some number, maybe I will write some text, whatever I will write, that should get insert into the array which I created. And after entering value, I have to click on this button, right? All right, so this is my function. So what I will do, let's comment this thing first, and let's write here let AR, this is the variable ARR, equals to blank array, right? Now I will write here document get element by ID, and what is the ID of my input box? This is array underscore element. Put this ID here, right? And dot value. Let's hold this value in a variable, say element equals to this, right? So whatever the value I am entering in my text box in HTML, now that value is available in this variable, right? Now in JavaScript, there is an inbuilt function called push, right? So what I can write here, arr dot push, and here we need to pass our variable element, right? Let's see in Google, let's see the syntax. Google array push JavaScript, right? So ideally the push function pushes an element at the end of array, right? If we will go with this definition, the push method in JavaScript used to add one or more element to the end of an array, right? So this method modifies the original array and returns a new length of the array, right? Okay. All right. So, okay. So here we are doing this, and all right. This is simple. We don't need to store it in any, store the new length in any variable. So in our array already the value is get stored. Let's see what we can do here. We can write a console.log, console.log, and let's write arr, right? There is one thing which we need to modify, the declaration. This declaration should be outside of the array. Why so? We need to make it outside here. Let me convert it from let to where. And why so? Because see carefully, means I'm entering some value here and I'm clicking on insert. So what is happening when I'm clicking on insert? My function is getting called, and inside the function if I will keep this line, so what will happen? First it will make our array blank, and whatever the value I am inserting, that will get inserted into the array. Next time again when I will you know uh, put some new value into the text box and will click on the button, then that new value will insert into the array, but before that it will make the array blank, due to which my previous value will remove, right? So I need to keep this array outside, so that whenever I am calling it, so my previous value should stay into it, right? So okay, let's see. So inspect, come to the console, right? Refresh the page. So currently we have a blank array. All right, let's write something 12. Click on insert. So okay, it is 12. Let's say 100. Okay, it is 100. So we can see that in our array the values are getting inserted. That is okay, working perfect. There is a one blank thing, it is coming. Why it is coming? Let me see. Okay, let me remove this line, or let it be like this. Here let's do one thing, create a div, and say id of my div is display array, display array, right? Here, let's write in this function, let's write document dot get element by id, and in id let's pass this display array dot inner html equals to sum, right? Let's see. So console.log, let's print the sum. Let's see. So it is currently 0. Okay, then print say enter 6. So we are getting 0, right? So I will remove this from here and write it alt self diff, and okay. Okay, let me do one thing. Okay, it is getting pushed here, and let me parse int. So 5. Okay, it is saying NaN. In the 0th index, this is NaN. Okay, there is some problem. Let me see how to rectify it. So we are getting this number here. That is okay. We are pushing it here. Fine. Array.push. Then okay. And let me do one thing. Okay. We are consoling this array. It is printing, but why this NaN is coming? Okay. Let me remove this line. This is not required. And okay, now nothing is coming here. Let me enter something, insert. Now it is okay. Now 50. Yeah, now we are getting the result 60. If I will enter 12, 60 plus 12, 72. Okay. Oh, 5 plus 50. Okay. Now it should be correct. Let me check one more time. 10. So, all right, 20. So it should be 30 now. Now say 5, 35, right? Yeah, now it is working. 15. It should be 50. Okay. And in case if someone will enter anything which is not number, then how we will take care of this thing? So remove this line, remove this line. Okay, so what we will do here, let's write a condition. If type of element uh, is number, right, equals to number, number, then only do this entire operation. So let's wrap in all entire code, this in all code, right? And we can also put a else and create another div, separate div here, right? Div id equals to say error message, right? Excuse me. Close the div. In case the entered number is not number, then here we will write document dot get element by id, and here pass the id. What is the id? So id is error underscore message, right? Error underscore message dot inner html equals to say h1, please enter numeric value. Close the h1, right? And we can write some css here, say style equals to color is red, right? In case if it will be number, then what we will do, we will remove this message from here. So after printing sum, we will remove this thing. That's it. Let's run this code. Let's see how it is working. So okay, we will enter something, say 50, insert. So 10, perfect. Now say Raj. So in case of Raj, it is inserted, right? Type of temp. Sorry, to here we don't need to write this condition anymore because at the top we are checking it. But here what is element? Okay, there is something this element. Okay, let's remove this thing first. Mhm. So somehow this condition means in case of string, even in case of string, this condition returns the true, right? So how it is possible? Let's do one thing. Simply console.log and write a type of element, right? Let's see. So I need to enter one number and then I will enter some text. So it is number. This is number. Okay, because I'm using this percent. Remove this. Now let's see. Refresh this page. 10. Please enter numeric value. Now it is okay. All right. Now we need to do some other arrangement. So here, whatever I am entering, that is string, right? As it is string, so my else part is executing. All right. All right. So if I will enter number, then this function will work correctly. But when as I'm entering something text, then it is not working. Right. So what I can do, I can check, I can write a validation. All right, let me do one thing. Instead of text, let's write here number. Now, if it is number, so it will not allow me to type any text. I can only allow to type number here. So 12, right? This is okay. 10, this is okay. Means what I did with the help of this HTML type equals to number, this doesn't allow me to type anything. Currently I'm typing from my keyboard some text, but it is not printing here, right? But if I will type any number here, then it will get type here, right? So yeah, with this we prevent it to enter any text, right? Okay. All right, so do anyone have any question? One thing which we can do is, let's see, there is an interesting thing. Let's open the previous code array1.js, right? In the array1.js, we have two arrays, right? Here, in case of array1, if I will write console.log and I will write type of array1. So this will return me object, right? It will return me a object. Let's see. Array1.js, come to the console and write here node array1.js. See at the very first print, this is object, right? So basically, data type of array in JavaScript is object, right? So I told that we have two ways to create an array. And if you guys are familiar with object-oriented programming in any language, then in object-oriented programming, we create object of any class by using this new operator, right? So internally, JavaScript has a class with the name array, right? And when we are writing this code, it means we are creating an object. We are calling the constructor of the array, right? So internally, this is an object. For JavaScript, this is an object, right? For us, it is an array, but for JavaScript engine, this is an object, right? That's why when we are checking the type of, so it is returning us object, right? Now, let me do one thing. Let me press some enter and let me write here console.log. Let me draw some line. Okay. So we have a array here, AR1. Let's create something, uh, say new array 1 equals to AR1, right? So what I am doing, I am copying this AR1, right? The entire AR1 to a new array, a new variable, new AR1. Now, if I will print both the thing, let's say console.log, and let's print AR1, and let's print console.log new AR1, right? So both the thing should return us this array, right? Here as well as here, right? Let's see, let's check. So yeah, we can see we are getting this thing. Both are same completely. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a change. Let's say new AR1, let's say its last index, which is 0, 1, 2, 3 in 3. The value is Rohit Sharma. Now let's say I'm going to make it something different, Virat, right? Now tell me, what should be the output of these two lines? Tell me, come on. In this new array 1, in the last index, in the third index, I changed this Rohit Sharma to Virat. So let's remove this Rohit Sharma and let's write here Virat, right? This is the expected output. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. Should I also need to make any change here in AR1? Anyone, any clue, any idea? Okay, let's see. Let's see the output. CLS clear screen, run the code and see. Here in my array 1, old array 1 and new array 1, both is get updated with Virat. Now the point is I made change in the new array 1 only. But how this is getting changed? How this value is changed from Rohit Sharma to Virat? Yeah, tell me. You guys are using Python. The same concept exists in Python as well, right? So tell me something, some clue. Yeah,
On the reference is copy, element is the shallow.
exactly, exactly. So at the line number 4 where we are copying it, this is a shallow copy. It is not a deep copy, right? So because of this, both the variable, the AR1 and new AR1, both are pointing to the same memory location, right? Now, both are pointing to same memory location. So whatever the change I will made in AR1, that will reflect in new AR1, or whatever the change I will make in new AR1, that will reflect in AR1. Internally, both the variables are same, right? Now, this is okay. This is the default behavior of shallow copy. But if you want that, okay, I want to make both variables separate, right? So for that, what we can do, we need a small change, and that change is called deep copy. Instead of shallow copy, let me comment this line. I'm not going to remove or modify this line. Rather, I will create a new line. New AR1 equals to, we should write like this, the square bracket, 3 dots. This 3 dot is called rest operator. And after that, I will write AR1, right? This is called deep copy. Now, because of this, now whatever the change I will made in new array 1, that will not reflect in AR1. So now in this case, here, this will Rohit Sharma, whatever the previous value was, right? Let's see. Let's run this code one more time. Let's clear the screen first and node array 1. Now you can see, right? This is Rohit Sharma, and here there is Virat. So this 3 dots is called rest operator. So there are multiple options, multiple ways to deep copy, right? This is the easiest way, using these 3 dots. There are some inbuilt functions are also there. With the help of those, we can also create the deep copy. Now what I want from you people is, which is as an assignment, that you guys need to think how to create a deep copy without using REST operator or without using any inbuilt function of JavaScript. Getting my point? You guys have to write a simple logic where we can copy an array to another variable to another array variable, but that copy should be a deep copy. It means both should point to separate memory location. Getting my point?
Uh, we could declare a new variable as a list, and then we could iterate this array one and put the elements in new variable. So then
Yes, yes,
it
that
will
will
act
work.
as deep copy.
That will work, definitely. That will work. All right, so fine. So that's it for today, right? So what I will do, uh, I will share a means link of Google Sheet, right? I will ask the name of all students from Puja. Once I will receive it, I will create an Excel sheet and I will send the link in the WhatsApp group. And all of you need to put your GitHub, URL of GitHub into that Excel sheet so that I can see the progress and the code quality which you guys are writing, right? So possibly tomorrow I will get it with Pooja, all the list. And the second thing is that tomorrow in the daytime I will send the notes of all the points which we discussed in our last 3-4 classes, whatever we discussed, right? And yeah, that's it. And another thing is that whatever the assignment I said, uh, if it is not done yet, please do it, right? It is important. And possibly by the end of this program, you guys also have to create a mini project, a small project, which, fractal people will like to go through. They will check the quality of the code, right? So that is a mandatory thing. So yeah, that's it. So meanwhile, you guys can think of that, okay, means within, let's say, 8 or 10 days of period, if you need to create something, what should be the good project, right? So be ready, start to think on that, because by the end of the program you need to create something, right? You need to create something to showcase them, right?
With this three dots, could we create a deep copy of string variable also, or
Uh,
this is applicable for list only?
it is applicable for non-primitive data types, right? Means this is array. In array, definitely it is working. There is another thing called object, right? Means in Python it is
Dictionary,
called
right?
dictionary, right? So there it also
Yes, yes.
works. Yeah. One more thing, you can use this three dot as a parameter in function, right? So whenever you are creating a function and you are passing an array, so you can use this three dot like this. So you don't need to, write, means this will store, uh, what I mean means when you are passing multiple values, right? So suppose you are passing three things, A, B, and C, right? Three numbers. So ideally we write like this. To store these three numbers, we use three variables. But you want, you can use three dot and any variable name, say args. So args is now array, and this array will store all these three numbers, right? This is another use of this three dot. You can use it with non-primitive type or in a function as argument, right?
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, okay.
All right, so that's it for today. Thank you very much. Chalo, take care. Bye bye. See you tomorrow, guys.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
Good night.